Budget fam, it's Jordan from Jordan Budgets. Today we're doing like a different video because I want to update you guys after I posted on that community tab over the weekend. So this might be a little bit different than what I normally post. It's gonna be just like sit down, no makeup, chatty, not moving as quickly. If you're interested in a longer video, and I know some of you have been, this is the video for you. If you are new around here, hey, welcome. Hello, my name is Jordan. We typically do a lot of budgeting on this channel. We talk about homeschooling because I do homeschool my boys. I'm a single mom who works on Etsy and YouTube full time, so we talk about that sometimes. We don't normally just sit down and chat and do a life update like this. So if you guys end up liking this, let me know. Maybe every once in a while we'll pop in and just do like a longer chat video, maybe a Q&A. I don't know. This video though, we are going to focus on what I posted over the weekend and sort of take you guys through that because I feel like there's some things to unpack and it's just a little easier to do this on video format versus trying to comment to all of you. So I want to back up and just update those of you that did not see it. Basically on the community tab, I posted, should I quit? And then I kind of went into this little spiel of, you know, like I'm getting comments that are saying like, you're not relatable anymore. And I wish I made what you make. And like, I'm a single mom and I can never do like what you're doing. Or I never could make the kind of money you're making, or, you know, just different things like that. And I will say, you know how like, I always tell you guys, like, don't compare your journey to somebody else's journey. And typically I'm pretty good at following that advice myself. And I like don't get too caught up in what people are saying, and I don't let people really affect me. But you know, like when certain things are your fear, you tend to see them maybe rather like quickly, whether it's the case or not. Well, when I get comments like that, like you're unrelatable, like I could never do what you're doing, it starts to trigger me because like I don't want to be unrelatable. That's like my biggest fear on YouTube, is that I'm going to be one of those YouTubers that's like, oh my God, like I can't afford something kind of ridiculous that like only YouTubers could afford anyway. I don't know. I'm certainly not there in my journey on YouTube like at all, guys. But when people comment things like that, I start to get worried. Like, am I that person? You know, am I somebody who is unrelatable? Am I out of touch with reality? And I'm really not. But something about like, I got a couple of those kinds of comments in a row. And I do get those comments. Like, it wasn't just those two comments, but I got a couple like back to back. And I have been getting them more and more now that my channel is growing. I'm almost at 34,000. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. But my channel is getting a little bit bigger. And it's just one of those growing pains that I hadn't had to hadn't had to work through yet, because I still considered my channel pretty small. But now when I get waves of like before, when I got waves of new people coming into the channel, even, you know, the channel has had some big growing moments, but it seems like the people that were coming in, it's all been positive. Well, lately when I have a video that gets a little bit more attention and I seem to like hit the algorithm on certain videos, it just tends to bring in more of those kinds of comments. And I do remember too, like, back whenever my channel first started, like a year and a half ago, my income was way different. So new people were seeing a different side of what they're seeing now. Anyway, I hope that, y'all, I hope that little bit of a backstory makes sense. But basically I posted something over the weekend that was a little bit like, I was a little bit in my emotions. And I shouldn't have been. I should have just taken a step back before I reached out in the community tab. But I really was feeling like, no, everybody hates me. Like, I'm not relatable, or like people aren't seeing me as relatable anymore. But you guys in the community tab, thank you. All of you, whether like whatever opinion you had, everybody shared opinions with me very respectfully, because I did ask you guys, like, tell me, like, how do I show up here? Am I oversharing? Do I need to stop sharing my income? Do I start sharing something different? Everybody was super kind, and thank you, thank you, thank you. I really wanted to go through and just like respond to each and every one of you. I just thought this video might be a little bit more efficient because, you know, this is just easier for me, and I do want to move on to getting some Etsy orders done and, you know, make some other content. But I hope I am expressing myself well here. What I'm really just trying to say is, first off, thank you to everybody that responded in the community tab, because I saw your comments, I read through them. You guys touched my heart as always. You're always super kind and thoughtful. And there's a second big conversation I want to have here, and that is that I do validate and see those kinds of comments. And none of those comments, really, I will say none of those comments that say that I'm unrelatable or whatever, like none of them have been outright nasty or like trying to hurt me. I think they're just expressing their opinions that they don't find me relatable, and that's completely fine. I don't know why, like I said, it just kind of hit me in such a way that I felt really weird about my spot on YouTube. And again, I think it's just a growing pain with YouTube. This is something I just had to work over or work out this weekend, and like I will keep going. And I will say, like, I do get genuine hate comments, but those comments are always, I'm talking always, like, when do you breathe? Can you slow down? I can't understand you. You don't make any sense to me. Like, it's always about how I talk. And those kinds of comments always make me laugh. Like, the genuinely, like, they're just, like, there's no reason to say that. Like, how does that benefit me or help me make different content to tell me that, like, I don't breathe or you can't hear me or you don't understand me because I talk too fast? Okay, sorry. Like, those kinds of comments, none of those offend me. A comment that I got this weekend was, stop snatching for breath. Like, what are you doing? I hate this trend. What? And I don't even know what snatching for breath means, but I assume they mean that I'm talking too fast and like they don't like my stride and how I talk. And I have a funny story for you guys, because my youngest son was actually in speech therapy because he has hypotonia, so he needed speech therapy for like, like a particular reason. My oldest son was in speech therapy for a time because he was just talking too fast and we couldn't understand him. He wasn't enunciating. And the speech therapist told me that it was my fault. She's like, you gotta slow down. He can't understand you. He's mimicking your speech patterns. Like, this is a you thing. And I remember, like, after we had that conversation, I was like, yeah, she's right. Like, all of his speech issues are me. I just don't hear myself. So it didn't occur to me until the moment that she brought it up. So I do at times, especially when my kids were younger, I try to slow down. I try to, change my speech pattern, because the speech therapist for my kids did bring it up. Like, this isn't me. But my kids are older now. They understand me. They had speech therapy, so they talk just fine. So anyway, like, the only genuine, like, hate comments I get it's always been about my speech or how I talk, or like, that I need to slow down or I need to stop snatching for breath. And I breathe just fine. I just, my speech pattern, I think, is not everybody's cup of tea, and I respect that. I get it, no big deal. Like, if you can't understand me, or if I'm talking too fast, or if you don't enjoy it because I'm just kind of like tornadoing, then that's fine. Like, I'm okay with that. It was just something about, people saying that I'm unrelatable, especially single moms. I'm like, I am a single mom. I'm trying to encourage you guys. I'm not trying to make you guys feel badly. I'm not trying to make you guys feel excluded from this conversation because I'm a single mom. Like, I'm trying to, it just, anyway, thank you to everybody who was kind. And I don't feel like anybody was saying anything rudely either. So, like, I'm not trying to come after anybody that has made comments like that, because I think genuinely they just have feelings about their own budget, and that's okay too, But what else was I gonna say? Oh, and I did say something about, like, do I quit or something like that. I would not get fully off of YouTube. I was more thinking, like, do I need to quit sharing my own budget? Do I need to stop sharing my personal journey and just start talking about, like, more vague numbers? Or do I just talk about, like, how to organize things? But once I stepped away, like I said, I kind of commented in my emotions. I posted that community tab. And when I stepped away for a bit, that's not what I want my channel to be. My channel is my personal journey. I'm not quitting YouTube. I'm not going to stop sharing my journey. I did think over the weekend, like, maybe I'm supposed to, because this is not having the intended, like, outcome, but you guys reminded me in that community tab, like those comments are the minority. I can't focus on just some people's opinions because a lot of you do enjoy that I share my journey. And I think sharing my journey is what makes this channel unique. There are tons of budgeting channels. I'm not even a budgeting expert. I'm just sharing my own journey, how I'm growing, how I'm starting to change things. You guys, like my sharing my budget sharing my budget is what makes this channel what it is. So I don't want to stop sharing my journey. Nothing is going to change on this channel except for, I guess I will say, some things are changing because out of sort of that conversation with you guys and out of the just how I was feeling in general, I am starting to get a better handle on what my business budget is versus my personal budget. I do have to say, the positives that came out of these feelings over the weekend were that I really started to take a big look at like how I'm sharing and what I'm understanding of my own budget. So let's break that apart for a second. What I'm sharing has been my true personal journey, okay? My budget for my business has been a hot mess. I feel like when I started this channel, y'all know, like I had a set income, everything made sense. And then as the business has grown, my business and my personal, like it's all been intermingled and it has been a hot mess. And that's just, I've been sharing that because that's been true for my own journey. That has been just what it is. But I do understand how like me sharing how much I'm making and then I share my budget, like things don't always mash together. And I share my budget because I want to share my budget, like what's going on. But then I share my income because I want you guys to see sort of how growing on YouTube and Etsy, like how that income is growing. So I'm seeing that I'm trying to basically share two separate pieces, but when it all just kind of comes out together, it can be very confusing on what is actual take-home money and what is business money and stuff. So the positives out of this weekend and me just being in my feels for a moment, like the positives of it are that I started to, have this conversation with you guys and started to really look at my business income and my business budget, which I haven't done enough, honestly. I know this is a budgeting channel, so that sounds terrible, but I've just kind of been like, if I'm surviving the business, if I'm surviving my personal budget, then it's working, right? That's not completely true. But I did take some time this weekend to really sort of differentiate like how much I am spending on the business. So like I went through all of my expenses for January, for example, and just for expenses in January for the business, I spent a little over $800. That's not counting taxes. And then I did go through and sort of figure out a doable budget for me. I think I need about $4,000 a month if I separate my business expenses out from my personal expenses and needs. So I think the business needs about $1,000 a month, and I think my personal needs about $4,000 a month. So the good news is I've started to really like dive into what does the business take and what do I need personally. And so I think moving forward, we are going to do a clear cut, like this is how much I spent in my personal and this is how much the business made. And I don't know, we'll talk about like how much is left in the business account. Hold on, this is getting too long. But we will definitely be talking in the upcoming weeks and in the future. We will start to pick apart how much my business needs and how much my personal needs. Now, when it comes to like bank accounts, my money is still very much together, which is, I know, a no-no, and I'm still working on it. This is the problem with having a budgeting channel while growing a business is I'm growing a brand new business. I have no business experience, right? But when I'm sharing my own personal journey, you guys aren't seeing like as far as business stuff, you're not seeing like how you should be doing it. This is just the reality of starting a brand new business from somebody with no entrepreneurial like background. Okay. So I think it's fun, right? To follow me along in this journey. It's a little bit chaotic. And I recognize that. I'm hoping in a couple of years, I have a completely different story to tell you. And I'm sure that I will. I can probably in a couple of years, I will be able to tell you like, this is how you need to do your business expenses. This is how you need to track things. This is what you need to do. But y'all, this is just reality and I'm in the middle of it. And so I do want to share the journey, but I'm also a perfectionist. So I want to share a perfect journey with you guys. And starting a business is not a perfect journey. It is very confusing. I am one person and I'm learning a lot. So not saying that in like a complainy kind of way, just in a honest, I'm figuring it out, guys. But I think from here forward, I'm going to be paying myself $4,000 per month. We're going to talk about how I break that up and how I make that happen. But I don't like the business is, as far as income, is like, you know, it's like an ocean wave. It is not a straight up. It's not going down. It is just a wave. And I feel like YouTube income is the same way. It's a wave. It kind of doesn't matter what I do, as long as I'm being consistent with both my business and with YouTube, then it'll wave up and down income wise, no matter what I do. It's just how it is. So I think though, $4,000 for myself and then $5,000 for the business, I think I can do that pretty consistently. There should even be money left over into the business, and like we'll leave it in the business side. Maybe we will use that to pay off the car at the end of the year. Maybe we will make some big investments in the business. I don't know, but I am going to start posting Southern Mississippi, y'all. I'm going to start posting very separate, like this is how much I am budgeting for my personal, and then in separate videos we will talk about how much I'm making on YouTube, Etsy, and how much sort of the business is making, because I want to share that side too. Y'all can let me know in the comments what you think, but I think it's fun to share the growth of the business, but that doesn't mean it's really impacting my income. Now, when we are at a point, because I do want to address this too, because somebody said, actually a few of you said something very similar to this, but you basically said don't limit your budget based on what other people expect of you. And I was like, oh, that just like was a blanket on my heart. You know, like it makes sense. Like I don't want to like limit my income and try to put my life and my lifestyle in a box because certain people want to see that online. And I agree with you 1,000%. But, and I think why the comments hit me so hard is because my lifestyle really isn't like outrageous at this point. I do spend about $4,000 per month. Sometimes I will overspend and I really shouldn't because I have a car loan I need to be setting money aside for. So those comments kind of got to me because I'm like, I'm really not like rolling in it yet. Like this is the beginning of my journey, hopefully. So I think realistically what I can handle and like what I can make on a consistent basis is $4,000 personal money. So that's what I'm going to budget for. As my businesses grow, as everything expands, we may change my personal budget to, you know, $5,000, $6,000 a month. I don't know, but we'll talk about it. I'm transparent on this channel. So we will talk about it as that happens. First and foremost though, $4,000, I need to stick with that budget. I think it's doable, and anything extra that the business makes, maybe I can give myself sort of quarterly bonuses and it all go towards the car loan. So this is going to help me in all of the ways to sort of, you know, make things make sense online, also to really stick to a budget for myself, and also get the business budget in order. So that's it. I think that is the majority of what I wanted to cover. I'm working on some really fun things, guys. I can give you, do I want to give you a sneak peek? I'm working on, I guess, let's go ahead and do this. So I'm working on some little envelopes because I'm working on changing my variable spending. Now, I did not invent this idea. I've seen several places do something similar to this, but I just wanted to share the version that I'm working on, right? For variable spending, I've started to make these little envelopes. So it's just a, you know, regular envelope. And then I'm going to be tracking my groceries and then my weekly spending. So I love, love, love budget binders. You'll know my whole channel is budget binders. So I do, you know, make and sell these. Of course, I'm going to keep these kinds of binders. I am keeping them for my monthly bills, and I'm keeping them for my sinking funds and savings challenges. So I'm keeping what I've been doing. The hiccup in my budgeting lately though, again, I did a ton of reflecting over the weekend, My hiccup has been my weekly spending, meaning my gas, groceries, like my variable spending. I did, and I do have in the Etsy shop, I did use something like this, and in the Etsy shop, there's a whole variable binder that I used to use, but I found for myself this was just too bulky, and I didn't like, as far as like carrying this in the store with me, I did not like pulling out all of these different categories. So what I have done is I've broken my income into bills, sinking funds, debt, and long-term, which all of that, all three of those categories is in these binders. The only thing that I have been putting on credit cards lately, and the only thing that's not in those binders, is my weekly spending, meaning like gas, groceries, spending on Amazon, spending any kind of like just extra money, like fun money, and groceries. So like those kinds of things that sort of pop up throughout the week, or, you know, maybe you want to go on a weekend little, you know, trip on Saturday or whatever. All of those for me now are going to be in this envelope. So I have a groceries category. I'm going to give myself a certain amount each week, and we're going to talk about this like as I make a budgeting video for this, but I just wanted to chat as I was working out my own budget and thinking about my videos and stuff this weekend. I thought about what really isn't working for me, and I created this because I think it's going to work for me. It's not a smaller envelope. My issue is a lot of people make them on these ginormous envelopes, you know, like a standard size 10 envelope. I bought some that are smaller, so it should fit a little bit of cash. What I'm doing, whew, y'all. When I don't cut these videos, you see my true like spacey brain come out. Groceries is going to get a certain amount every single week. I think my budget, I'm giving myself $190 per week. That should be about $750 per month. And then weekly, I'm giving myself, what did I decide? I'm giving myself $150 per week for weekly. That is for gas for the car. That's for fast food. That's for Amazon spending. That's for a weekend vacation. All of those basic wants, except for gas. Gas for the car is like a need. But it all has to come out of this weekly money. And what I'm gonna do is if I don't spend it, I get to roll it down and keep kind of rolling it down. And then at the end of the month, if I still haven't spent all of it, I get to decide if I want to put it into sinking funds, into my binders, or I could go ahead and spend it, or maybe even roll it over if I'm saving for a big, like something I want. My biggest pitfall, because I'm not a like all the time spender, I don't even go in stores these days. I hate shopping. But I will randomly at 2 o'clock in the morning decide that I want a new rug for the living room. That's the kind of like careless spending I do. And it'll be like $300, or I don't know, not even, I think the rug in the office was maybe $300, but most of my rugs in this house are like $150 off of Amazon. But $150 like here and there for a random rug or a random whatever I decide I want, it adds up. So I've given myself what I think is a very generous spending amount for weekly. If I want to go like rug shopping on Amazon, we'll stick with that example. But if I want to do that, it's going to cost all of my money for the week. So do I have a full tank of gas? Are we going anywhere? Do I not want to like have any fast food for the boys? Like, I have to make those decisions if I want to purchase that rug. I think simplifying it like this, I don't know why I did that. I think simplifying it like this is going to keep me a lot more accountable, and it is going to incentivize me to not do those random things because I could possibly get to save it. Or completely different train of thought. But there are certainly times of my life where I want to buy things and I feel like I have to save all of it, and I want to give myself the freedom. Airplane. I want to give myself the freedom to purchase it if I want it. So like weekly money. If I want to take the boys on a little trip to the beach and it's going to cost $50, I want to feel like I have the right to do that as a saver in general. Like I don't always feel like I have the right to spend my own money, which is ridiculous. So I'm very excited about this. This is not in the shop yet, but if you guys are interested, I could very easily throw it in the shop real quick. I'm thinking it's going to be like $10, maybe $11 plus shipping. It's just, like I said, some envelopes. Here's the beauty of this too. The Budget Mom does this too. Again, I'm not the first person to invent it, and she's probably not either. Somebody, I've seen these like around the web, but here's an example of January, I already filled out. So for January spending, I did not use this as I was as we were in January, but I just kind of filled it out to make sure it will fit. I will say though, like I said, this is a smaller envelope, so you have to kind of write small, but see, I totaled out each week and then I sort of added it together so you can see my running totals. This is going to be a separate video. I don't know what I'm ranting about, but yeah, I will be selling these January through December in the shop. The good thing about these is you can put your receipts in them. I saw the Budget Mom do that and I was like, oh, that's genius. As you are shopping, you can put the receipts in them. I'm also creating no, I'm not going to share that yet. I'm creating a business version, but I'm not going to share it because I don't have that template really figured out. I will say though, for these, this is the template. I mean, it's groceries and weekly, and it has the month at the top. I am also sick, guys. My youngest son loves to kiss me all over my face, and I genuinely, I usually don't have a problem with it, but I was like, he's getting sick, so I kept asking him, are you getting sick? Are you getting sick? And he said, no, I'm not getting sick. I'm not getting sick. So I woke up sick the other day and I was like, Atlas. I said to him, I said, Atlas, you are sick because now I'm sick. So I know that you're sick at this point. And he said, oh, well, I'm not that sick. I was like, okay. I mean, I appreciate the positive, outlook on it, but sir, you are sick. Anyway, I think that is going to wrap up this video. Thank you for sitting here with me if you made it all the way through to the end. It is Monday morning. I'm probably uploading this soon after I create it. I'm gonna be in the office a lot today and tomorrow as I'm working on things. So if you guys wanna chat, I will be around in the comments of this video. So to wrap all of this up, I just want to say, don't worry about me. I'm okay. I'm not quitting YouTube for sure. I just had a moment of do I quit sharing my life? But I'm not gonna do that. That's basically what my channel is. I don't know what I could really provide you if I wasn't doing what I'm currently doing. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, that was a lot. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of sort of a chatty video like this. We are about to hit 34,000. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. We would love to have you here as a part of the Budget fam. Also, I will be doing the 40,000 subscriber giveaway. We haven't done one of those lately, so let's go ahead and do that soon. And I think we will do a Q&A. So maybe we'll do a Q&A just because we have so many new members. If you have a question, maybe we'll go ahead. I started to say I'll make a community post to post questions into. But if you have a question, go ahead and feel free to leave it in the comments of this video. If you see it, I'll probably leave a little Q&A block on Instagram as well. Have you guys been following me on Instagram? I didn't post over the weekend because, again, just busy, sick, in a mood. But I will be posting a lot on Instagram. I did post a good bit pretty recently. So anyway, yes, I will probably have a little spot where you can post questions there as well. But if you want to leave a question on this video, that would be great. I will be doing a Q&A just because I know we have a lot of new members since the last time I did something like this. So anywho, I will see you guys again soon. Like I said, I'll be around all the places if you guys want to chat. Now I'm on Instagram, so I have a little messengery thing. What is it called? DMs? Direct message? Is that Instagram? I don't even know. Okay, I'm going to go. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.